time to check in on the latest buzz in the entertainment world.
Liz and Mike from 105.1 The Buzz joining us live. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning. All right, some Coachella drama this morning.
Frank Ocean, who we were just listening to, I guess had an interesting set this year.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. So he was the performer that was supposed to close out Sunday night at Coachella. He was originally supposed to perform in 2020, but because of the pandemic, they canceled that performance. So this was like a really big deal. It was his first time in 6 or 7 years performing live. Fans camped out starting at like 4 p.m. in the sunshine, ready, waiting, couldn't wait to see him. And then he was an hour late taking the stage. And then once they came out on the stage, they were seated. And then you couldn't really see what they were doing because there were people moving in a circle around them the entire time. And people that were there said you could only see him if you looked at like the Jumbotron. And then he was also blatantly lip syncing, like not even bothering to hold the microphone up to his mouth, and just like music was playing, but he wasn't really doing anything. And so then a report came out yesterday that said they had to change everything with the set because he had hurt himself. He had sustained an ankle injury earlier in the week riding a bicycle around the Coachella fairgrounds. And his doctor advised not to go with the original plan, which involved ice skaters. So that's who the people were that were circling. But then other people were still upset and mad. And because of a curfew, the show didn't go very long at all. And everybody was kind of just like, is this it? Is that it? It's done? It's over?
Huh.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer.
That is a bummer. Well, yeah, I heard that the festival organizers this year, they were fined tens of thousands of dollars because every night they have an agreement with the city where if they go over their curfew, their music, their sound noise ordinance cutoff, it's like a fine. And then at a certain point, it's like $1,000 a minute by every.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like every headliner, I think this year went a little late. So starting an hour late definitely doesn't help when you're up against a deadline.
Yeah.
No, those fines can get really serious. I remember when I used to work for a radio station back on the East Coast, we had Lil Wayne at a concert, and he went about 31 minutes over his time allotment, and he had a $30,000 fine. He ended up paying for it because he was the one that was late to the venue. But yeah, those things can get hefty. So,
that's nice.
I love Frank
a lot
Ocean.
of people don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Frank Ocean. I would have loved to see this set go off without a hitch. He's been a guy that kind of like keeps to himself. He doesn't really get out there all that much. And when he does perform, you want it to be something special because of that reason.
Yeah.
Especially after 3 years of build-up for that. Where do
Waiting
we
the
stand
whole
on the
pandemic.
lip-syncing debate? Where do we stand on this?
As a big fan of boy bands growing up, there's no way NSYNC could have moves like that and sing live. So I'm a little biased in the sense of like, if you're up and you're moving and you're doing things, like you can't do 100% live vocals.
Right.
Now, I'd like if you did a song where you slowed it down a little bit and sang live. But if you do some lip syncing here and there, that doesn't hurt the experience for me personally.
I'm with you there, Liz. I think it kind of depends on the artist. It kind of depends on the performance, the venue, the logistics of the stage and the audio. And I think there's times where it's like if you want it to be a good performance, it's not going to be good live. They have to be able to hear certain things and the way things go around a stage. But I think you got to at least try. You still got to be putting on a show especially if you're gonna be lip syncing.
Right. I care about how much of the show is lip sync.
Right.
Like if you spend all that money to go to Coachella, you're so excited to see Frank Ocean, and let's say he lip syncs. I have no idea how much he lip synced. This is a fake number I'm throwing out there, but say half of the show.
Yeah.
I would be super disappointed.
I mean, as a diehard fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, I have no problem with lip syncing, but you have to put on a show. You got to make it a performance.
Still get out there and work.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing is that Frank Ocean is not really much of a dancer. Like his songs it's a lot of ballads,
right?
Slow songs, and he just kind of like gets in the zone and wails with his vocal power. And if you're just lip syncing, you got to do something else.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, well, hey, we're almost out of time, but we have a new celebrity couple alert. Woo, woo. Two big names getting together here.
Yeah, allegedly Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet are dating. And I am at the point in my life where I don't trust anything that a Kardashian says, but at this point we have to talk about it because it's like, oh, she was seen at Timothée Chalamet's house. Her car was parked there. Oh, they were out doing this, they were doing that. But I would like to say it's at the exact same time that Kendall Jenner is also rumored to be dating Bad Bunny, which they were like making out at Coachella or whatever. So I feel like there's a lot of PR that's spinning right now. I don't want to see Kylie go to the Oscars with Timothée Chalamet.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, what Kardashian series is coming out? Like, what are we trying? What's being promoted in a couple weeks here? I don't know.
Right.
Ooh, we can talk about this later, but basically they are on their way out. They are not cool. They are not trendy anymore. People do not think that they are real. And there is millions of TikTok videos about it. They are not cool with Gen Z.
Oh, interesting.
And so it looks like they're trying to rehab their image. Like, oh, wait a second. No, wait, we're going to do this. It's a giant conspiracy theory and mess.
And Timothée Chalamet would be the way to get in Gen Z's ears. But I hate this on so many levels. That boy does not need any help from the Kardashians.
I don't know.
Right. I don't know
we'll
either.
have to see. We'll see how long this romance lasts. I don't know.
Guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Alleged.